I think it's going to be very close. I'd like to think we've got the edge, and I'd like to think that the home crowd maybe will be the factor that will give us the edge.
I feel that we will win and that we will bring the cup home. But I say that knowing that the competition is going to be very tight.
It's going to be 3 great days, and I shan't sleep much, but I'm looking forward to it.
On a warm, sunny September afternoon, the Red Arrows come roaring out of blue skies over the Midlands to herald the opening ceremony of the 1989 Johnny Walker Ryder Cup. With the first of the morning foursomes still some 16 hours away, expectant crowds have already gathered at the Belfry, where 4 years ago the USA were beaten for the first time in 28 years. 2 years ago, on Jack Nicklaus's own course at Muirfield Village, Ohio, the European team won again, their first ever victory on American soil. Those successive defeats had at long last dented the confidence of American golf. It had never before been challenged in this way. And so the Americans returned to the Belfry, determined to put the record straight. President George Bush had sent them on their way with the semi-jocular threat, if you don't bring the cup, don't bother to come back. The Ryder Cup had become the sporting trophy America most wanted back in the USA. The events of 1989 promised to be the most significant of all in the 62-year history of the famous event. The opening ceremony was set underway by the executive director of the British PGA, John Lindsay.
Welcome everyone to the 28th playing of the Ryder Cup matches. The United States have once again brought their very finest team to contest these matches, and I would ask their captain Raymond Floyd to introduce his players to us.
Thank you. Lord Derby, ladies and gentlemen, it's really an honor for me to have been named the 1989 American Ryder Cup team captain. And I think enough's been said of who will win the matches this week. But come Sunday night, my real wish is that the game of golf is the true winner. And now, if I may introduce America's team. Paul Azinger, Chip Beck, Mark Calcavecchia, Fred Couples, Ken Green, Tom Kite, Mark O'Meara, Payne Stewart, Curtis Strange, Lanny Watkins, Tom Watson, Mark McCumber. Thank you.
And now the European team captain, Tony Jacklin.
Thank you, Lord Derby, Pat Riley, and honoured guests, Raymond, American team. We welcome you here. We really do. We've been looking forward to this for a long time, and I know we're going to have a hard-fought battle. It's my opinion that this stays here this week. I'd like, if I may, to just introduce the team that's going to hopefully do that for us. Nick Faldo. This is Nick's 7th Ryder Cup. Ronan Rafferty, for the first time. Jose Maria Olatabel, for the 2nd time. Mark James. It's Mark's 4th Ryder Cup. Little Wuzzy, Ian Woosnam. It's Ian's 4th Ryder Cup. Gordon Brandt. Gordon's 2nd Ryder Cup. Sam Torrance from Scotland. 5th Ryder Cup for Sam. Jose Maria Canizares for the 4th time from Spain. Bernhard Langer from Germany for the 5th time. Christy O'Connor Jr. from Ireland for the 2nd time. Howard Clark from England for the 5th time. And last but by no means least, Severiano Ballesteros from Spain for the 5th time. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Good luck again, gents.
And so, to the first day of play. At 6 o'clock in the morning, the dawn patrol was on the move. The public were making their way to the Belfry for the opening foursomes, where each pair play one ball and hit it alternately. The first match out at 8 o'clock paired Nick Faldo with Ian Woosnam against Tom Kite and Curtis Strange. Then Howard Clark and Mark James would play Lanny Watkins and Payne Stewart. Severiano Ballesteros and Jose Maria Olazabal against Tom Watson and Chip Beck. And finally, Bernhard Langer and Ronan Rafferty would play Mark Calcavecchia and Ken Green. First blood was drawn by the Europeans. Nick Faldo had this putt on the second green for a birdie. But at the 7th, par 3 hole, Curtis Strange had a chance to get back. This putt for a birdie too. Well, the Europeans have lost that hole. They proceeded then to lose the 8th and the 9th as well. And then the 10th, Nick Faldo, who had the strike, drove his ball right to the back at the 10th, and now Woosnam had to chip back onto the green.
Get up, get up.
Well, he did that, but the ball wouldn't stop. And suddenly, it was in the water, and now the Europeans, from being 2 up, were 2 down. But they got one back at the 14th, Woosnam at the 15th, a little chip here. This is the 3rd shot. Lovely touch, and that set up the chance, which was taken of the birdie 4, and suddenly the match was all square with 1 to play. Faldo and Woosnam all square with Tom Kite and Curtis Strange. And there was another tremendous match. Howard Clark and Mark James were all square with Lanny Watkins and Payne Stewart with 2 to play. And then in the remaining matches, the Spanish pair, Ballesteros and Olazabal, they were all square with 2 to play against Tom Watson and Chip Beck. And then, I'm afraid in the last match, Langer and Rafferty just didn't hit it off together, and Calcavecchia and Ken Green were 3 up with 6 to play. Let's now see Lanny Watkins, the American, playing his 3rd to the par 5 17th.
And doesn't Payne Stewart like that? That's an eagle 3. And what a crucial moment to pop one in from off the green. They're 1 up now and 1 to play, and this match has never been more than a hole in it.
And you can see how very close Kite's second shot was to going in the water. Interesting, he hasn't moved the string, that little bit of rope. Usually they're so fussy. Not bad, eh? Ah, suddenly my buckos. And so far, well, at this moment, not an awful lot for the home spectators to cheer about. Into the sand goes Master Faldo, and we'll see whether he continues his masterly bunker form. And it does. That's a beautifully played shot.
Olazabal for 4 at the 17th. You can just see the marker about 3 feet left of the hole from there. Come on, he's done it, he's done it. Oh, he's holed a few today. And what a great...
Both sides have played 3 shots. The match is all square. Couldn't be more exciting. Good putt. Oh, well done, Kite. Well done. That was a terrific putt. And you can see all the excitement and the drama, and well, they've come to take the cut back, and they made a jolly good start. And now pressure on Woosnam to hold his putt for the first match to be halved. Fairly straight putt. They've had a number of opportunities today, and they've not managed to take them. Oh, I say, well, that really was a rattler. And dived in, and I think probably on balance a fair result, but I would have to say I think the Americans probably deserve to win that match more than the Europeans.
Now, Danny Watkins, who was one of Captain Raymond Floyd's selected players, hasn't played very well this year and put in really for his own Ryder Cup because of how well he's played in Ryder Cups in the past. Experience his fourth shot. Very, very, very fine shot. See how quick that was downhill. Not looking at, no, hasn't conceded it, but he knows that that'll be a 5. Howard Clark to square his match. Oh, that's an awful, awful putt. This for the match. This for an eagle 3. I've just seen one from the Americans. And that could be good enough, yes. Bernhard Langer picks his own marker up, and that's a victory by 2-1 to the United States. Left on the foot. Payne Stewart and Laddie Watkins defeating Howard Clark and Mark James by 1 hole.
The 18th third shot from Lazabal. Match all square. Flag right at the back of the green on the top terrace, and he, well, a good shot, but it could have done with a good bounce forward. Now chip back. With the wind coming from right to left. It's a good looking shot right at the flag. Yes, good shot. It looked to be about equidistance. Watson here, one of the very best putters over the years. So this for a 4. Match all square. Oh, looks to be there. Looks to be there. That's a very good putt. But that's a concession. And Ballesteros will have a putt to win the match. Good speed. Oh, just toppled away. There he looks a bit cross. Match is halved.
By any reasoning, it was a disappointing morning for Europe, who hadn't won a single match. But now came the afternoon 4 balls, where each man plays his own ball and the better score counts. These were the pairings. The American captain, Ray Floyd, decided to bring in the 4 men who hadn't played in the morning and pair them with men who had. And the European skipper, Tony Jacklin, decided to bring in Sam Torrance and Gordon Brand Jr., who hadn't played in the morning, and put them out as the leading pair at 1 o'clock. They played against Curtis Strange and Paul Azinger. Well, let's look at the men who'd finished the morning play, Ballesteros and Olazabal. Now they're playing Watson and O'Meara, and what a start they made. Here's Olazabal with a little chip from the side of the first. And in that goes for a birdie 3. So Europe were 1 up after 1. Now on the second, Olazabal has this chance of a birdie putt. And now they're 2 up after 2. They went on to win the 3rd, the 4th and the 5th, to be 5 up after 5. But the Americans did strike back. They won 2 holes. We're going to join it now on the 10th tee. The Spaniards are 3 up. Ballesteros is to drive.
Hide the grin as that went through the air. Oh, I say. And it's this match at that critical stage. I mean, 5 up after 5. I mean, you know, it's virtually all over, but they've just lost a couple and always in danger of slipping away. It started left and doing right. Well, an almost embarrassment of riches. This from eagle 2. Watson's got a 3. Round is coming round, and do they like that? Go on, you're allowed to smile. 4 up.
No, the question is, can Seve have the hole? He's in the mood, I think, and when he's in the mood, there's nobody better.
The 12th green, and the last match. 4 up here to Europe in the form of the 2 Spaniards, Ballesteros and Olazabal. So this to go 5 up, and 6 to play. Ooh! He did that. But it's a wonderful start home. 2-3-2.
Europe win the
Go
hole
5
in
up.
2.
That's
Europe
4 under par for 3 holes. Ballesteros at the 13th, his second shot to this par 4. A little bit clumsy. So Mira, this for a 3. Good putt. So we've seen 2 or 3 from just about there this afternoon. They've all been on the low side. That's a 4. That leaves with Ballesteros with this putt for the match. That's it. First blood, the first victory today for the European side. Ballesteros and Olazabal beat Watson and O'Meara by 6 and 5. That's a fair hammering, and they were some 7 under par in the process. Very good golf in a difficult, blustery day. And their performance, don't think they had a kiss there, but arms around one another, and great stuff. And their performance will have really cheered their colleagues who are still struggling manfully in the 3 games ahead. A big win, and an important one.
Well, it certainly was, but now what about the other 3 matches? Sam Torrance and Gordon Brand Jr., the Scottish pairing, they were playing Curtis Strange and Paul Asinger. Let's have a look at Brand's approach shot at the first. Well, it all but went in. But it was a cert birdie, so they were off to a good start. In the second match, Howard Clark and Mark James playing against Fred Couples and Lanny Watkins. Mark James has a chip from just off the second green. And in he goes, so they were certainly off to a good start. These 4 were having a rare battle. Faldo and Woosnam against the 2 marks, Calcavecchia and Macumber. The European pair went 1 up, but that was pulled back, so after 12 holes they were all square. And now on the 13th, Ian Woosnam is chipping out of a bunker. And in it goes. What an afternoon. Well, as the afternoon reached its climax, this is how the matches looked. Sam Torrance and Gordon Brand Jr. were now all square, with Curtis Strange and Paul Asinger with just the 1 hole to play. But Howard Clark and Mark James were 3 up on Fred Couples and Lanny Watkins with 3 to play. And the third match, Nick Faldo and Ian Woosnam, they were now 2 up on Calcavecchia and Macumber. We're going to look now first at the match between Clark and James against Couples and Watkins. The European pair are 3 up after 15. And now Lanny Watkins has got a longish putt for a birdie.
Not bad. No, it's left. That's left, and so now Clark has a 2-footer. James has 2 putts. Good speed. That'll do. Thanks for the match. Win 3-2 to Europe.
Europe's first victory of the match. Seve, Jose Maria, very well played. You looked as if you really enjoyed that.
Well, I enjoy watching Jose Maria the first 5 holes, which we won all, and then I take over. He was a little tired, so...
Tell me exactly how well this man played today.
Well, he played great, especially this morning. I really didn't feel like I played very well this morning. I missed too many putts, and thanks to Jose Maria, we tie. Otherwise, I didn't really play very well. This afternoon, I played much better, especially on the backside, and Jose Maria make everything on the first 9 holes. He chipped in on the first hole, and then he birdied the second. He nearly just leaped out on the third, and it was just he just played fantastic.
You got a fan here, I think, Jose Maria. You were a star, of course, 2 years ago, but is this the best you've played in Ryder Cup matches?
Well, I think we played pretty well also 2 years ago, the 4 balls.
We did.
But I think Seri played great the last 4 or 5 holes, and that's why we beat them so easily.
17th green. And this match, Europe 1 up, 2 to play. Curtis Strange has this putt, though, to level things.
Calcavecchia and Macumber are 2 down, so he must feel this has got to go. Looks good.
So once again, Azinger. It's to level him. Strange to it, and he's done it. He's done it. That's almost the first significant blow from the Americans all afternoon. They've been down really all the way around. They've never been anything other than down from the very first hole. But now it's all square, 1 to play.
Howard Clark, Mark James, our second winners of the afternoon, and we're really on a roll, aren't we?
Yeah, it's nice to be on a roll again, because this morning didn't feel too good, and we were told to go out and do the business this afternoon, and it looks like we're doing a little bit more like, the business that we're supposed to do.
You were ahead early on and really didn't lose grip on this match, did you?
No, we had. We both played very solidly and never looked like giving any holes away, which helps, and we made a few birdies along the way. Had a little bit of luck right at the start. And just kept it going.
What was said around lunchtime to produce this kind of turnaround this afternoon?
Well, nothing really. I mean, there wasn't a big depression in the camp. We were a bit unlucky, we felt, to go into the 4 balls 3-1 down, and we all just realised if we went out and played like we can play, we'd get a better result this afternoon, and that's what looks like happening.
Paul Azinger in his very first Ryder Cup match. Oh, magnificent stroke. That was a tremendous shot.
Wisdom, there you see him between the trees. Looks as if he's got a pretty straightforward shot. The bunker on the front right-hand side of the green. He may just have to be mindful of that. Good lie. Very nicely done indeed. Runs that into the green. Still quite away from the hole, but his side are 1 up. Well, should be okay for a birdie 4 from there.
Gordon Brand from bunker by the 18th green. This is his 3rd shot up the slope. Oh, he's played an excellent one. A great shot from there. Not easy. A shot of some 60 yards. Now, Curtis Strange. Strange for 4. Not enough. No. So 2 5s, 1 for Torrance, 1 for Strange. And now we have a situation very similar to the top match this morning. So Azinger has this to guarantee at least a half for his team. No. They're bobbled. So the best the United States could do is a 5. So the stage is set for Gordon Brand. He's the only player left. Has this for the match. He's done it. He's done it. He survived the body blow. Oh, doesn't serve me like that. They survived the body blow of the eagle 3 at 17, came back. And Brown makes the roll, and that's the third point of the afternoon. The Brand and Torrance. A great victory, and a very courageous one as well.
Macumber for an eagle 3. This to square the match. Up the hill. Oh, that was a bit. That was a little nervy. That's bravely done. Very bravely done after that weak first putt. Now pressure on Woosnam. 4 feet or so. This to halve the hole in birdie 4s and go to the last one up. Boom, straight in. That was a very well struck putt. So they can't lose. The worst they can do is get a half.
Terrific stuff. Literally a Grand Slam finish, that for you.
Yeah, I mean, I went in the Grand Slam, that's how close it was. Oh, that was brilliant. You know, that chip and putt there, that's fantastic. Great. Sam played great today, and I'm lucky enough to get the winning putt, but I mean, Sam's been the strong man to the team. He's been great.
You've had a few emotional moments on this green, haven't you, Sam? This was another one.
Absolutely. I'm gone again.
I know you're a bit choked up, but a terrific match, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We won't get another word out of you, will we?
It was great, it was great. We both played great, not just me, played great too.
He's having a go with the driver. It's for many the most difficult club in the bag, but he's decided to have a cut at it. His partner's some 60 yards further ahead, and with his enormous power should certainly reach it in 2, so it's a do or die here for Macumber. Don't know whether he caught all of that. No. Did its best. He didn't get it going. It's Woosnam just on the angle, and he's out with the timber. Come off it a bit, has he? Not much. He's just climbed up on the edge. Oh, that was a bit dodgy, I tell you. But he's there in 2. Now Calcavecchia. Well, they say he's taking his driver. I wouldn't have thought he needed a driver. Sam went through the green with an iron. Ooh. They must be shell-shocked now. They're both in the water for 2, so they'll pick up by 4 onto the green. So unless they hole out from 130, 40 yards, well, they're destined to lose this hole. This is his 3rd.
Get up there.
Give him 5. Now Macumber. This has got to go in. Either he or Calcavecchia have got to hole out, and then they might still lose. Good shot off the line, but just fiery. Calcavecchia is over the other side. Whether his ball skipped through the water and climbed up onto the bank. Actually, that ball of his must have skipped about 15 yards through the water. Well, that was a hard lie, and, well, got it up. But so rather untidy and ungainly at the end. Woosnam now with A long chip and run across a couple of slopes, across 2 or 3 different levels. Not too bad. Well, what about that? I thought it was going to jam in. If it had caught the flag absolutely plumb, I'm sure it would have dived in. But he's gone about 4 feet or so past. Kakavecchia's got to hold his. That's the... Well, even if he does, of course, Woosnam will still have his putt for the match. Well played. Very well played indeed. Beautiful shot. But that's all over now. You might just, well, unless they've lost count, I think they can pick it all up and say thanks for the match, yes? So 4-0 in the afternoon. That's what happened 2 years ago at Millfield Village in Ohio. Shared honours in the morning, and the European team winning all four balls in the afternoon. Bit of a struggle, but what excitement.
How important was it as you were battling round all square to look up at the leaderboard and see us ahead in 3 of the matches and dominating one with Seve and Jose Maria?
Well, we were desperate to win our match because we didn't want to go back in and say, oh, you lost your match, you know. So, no, and it was enjoyable playing this afternoon and winning, obviously, but it was a great game, and that's what golf's all about, having great games.
How would you contrast the feeling now with perhaps the feeling at lunchtime when you were 3-1 down?
No, we were okay. No, we were fine. I mean, everybody had played well, and you know, it's tough to come out. You know, it's 2 years gap between this event. You know, then all of a sudden you've got to come out and produce it. And yeah, we were motivated by a few criticisms by a few other people. But so, you know, we got out there and did a good job this afternoon.
Nearly 30,000 people crowded the Belfry course, and late in the afternoon, what they could see on the scoreboard was a mass of blue, indicating that Europe were ahead in all 4 matches, exactly as they had been at Muirfield Village in America 2 years earlier. The Europeans had won every match. So from being 1-3 down at the end of the morning, at the end of the day, Europe were leading by 5 points to 3. It must surely have been a delighted European skipper, Tony Jacklin, talking with Steve Ryder.
Tony Jacklin, that victory by Nick and Ian rounds off an astonishing afternoon.
It was a great afternoon. I'm so proud of them. They did great. I can't believe it. I felt we were very unfortunate this morning coming out of it 3-1 down. I mean, it could have been just as easy 3-1 up, and they all felt that at lunchtime. So they were a little subdued, but they weren't down. You know, they just felt like we'd been a little bit cheated this morning. But what a performance this afternoon! They really are something else. They just get up, you know, for these matches, and it's a marvellous thing to see when they're in full flow. And of course, they've got the galleries behind them now, and well, I'm just so thrilled, obviously.
Quick word about the galleries, because there were doubts about the kind of atmosphere that might be here at the Belfry, but a terrific atmosphere today.
Oh, it was lovely, and I mean, but you get a situation like on the last hole where the 2 American balls went in the water, and I mean, you're bound to get a spontaneous situation there, you know, from the gallery, and the all so, ooh, you know, and the noise and but I think that's nothing. I think the galleries were beautifully behaved, and well, we're just looking forward. There's a long way to go yet. We're in a nice position. I couldn't hope to be in a better position after the first day, and it's good for morale, obviously, for our morale to have won 4-0 again this afternoon. But it's a long road yet, and we're going to get plenty of rest tonight and be ready for it, hopefully.
I know you're loath to pick out individuals, but the Spanish pair worked well again today, and Jose Maria Olazabal was terrific.
Well, they did a sensation. I mean, to win a match in foursomes at this level, 6 and 5, in 4-ball, sorry, 6 and 5 is spectacular golf, and they just set each other alight, don't they? I mean, it's as I say, it's great to see.
It was a fine turnaround by the Europeans, from being 1-3 down in the morning to lead 5-3 at the end of the first day. The Americans must have gone to bed a little worried. The Europeans were entitled to a little celebration. And so, to the second day, and once again in the morning at 8 o'clock, the foursomes. These were the pairings. Ian Woosnam and Nick Faldo would lead the way against Lanny Wadkins and Payne Stewart. And then Gordon Brand Jr. and Sam Torrance, the Scottish connection, would play Chip Beck and Paul Azinger. Christy O'Connor Jr., playing for the first time, would come in with Ronan Rafferty to play against Mark Calcavecchia and Ken Green. And finally, the Spanish pair, Ballesteros and Olazabal, against Tom Kite and Curtis Strange. The two captains, Tony Jacklin and Raymond Floyd, woke up on Saturday morning to find perfect weather for golf, virtually no wind, and it was warm and sunny. I suspect Floyd had had a restless night. He now needed lots of wins from his team to get back into the match. Early on, the golf was already spectacular. This is Chip Beck's approach shot at the fourth. And Sam Torrance putting for a birdie at the ninth. So let's join those morning foursomes. The leading match, Faldo and Woosnam against Watkins and Stewart. The Europeans are one up, and now here's Woosnam on the par 4 11th with the opportunity for a birdie to go 2 up. And then at the 13th, well, there was another birdie opportunity for Woosnam. And so they went 3 up. And as the morning foursomes came to their climax, this is how the leaderboard looked. Faldo and Woosnam were 3 up after 15. In the match between Gordon Jr. and Sam Torrance against Chip Beck and Paul Azinger, well, the European pair started well, but now they were 3 down with 4 to play. Christy O'Connor Jr. playing for the first time, he was paired with Ronan Rafferty against Mark Calcavecchia and Ken Green. Again, they started well, but now they were 4 down with 4 to play. And the final match, Severiano Ballesteros and Jose Maria Olazabal, another unbeaten pairing. They were playing Tom Kite and Curtis Strange. They actually lost the first hole, Ballesteros and Olazabal, but now they were 2 up after 10. Well, we're going to join the action with that second match, Torrance and Brand against Beck and Azinger. Brand and Torrance are 3 down. Here's Azinger playing his third to the par 5 15th.
Oh, and look at the backspin that was on that ball. Incredible shot from young Azinger. Well, that could be a killer blow in this match. Now, Sam Torrance.
Woosnam second at the 16th. Three up and 3 to play. Oh, nice shot indeed. Making them win the hole with birdies. Now this is Payne Stewart playing the third shot. It looks to be all over, unless, well, even if Payne holds this one, which he hasn't, now the European pair have, whatever they do, 2 putts for the match.
Chip Beck at the 15th, holding out for a birdie 4, and that gives the United States a victory by the margin of 4 and 3. A very valuable point for the Americans, and the American team captain looking on.
Faldo at the 16th. And 2 for the match, and I think that'll do it. Shake of the hands, and Europe win the top match.
The 11th green, Ballesteros. He had a 3 at the last hole for a birdie, and he's followed it with another one here. That makes the European side 3 up.
O'Connor at the 15th, third shot. This hole still playing back into the wind. Unreachable on 2. And that's a very good third, and he's doing his best to go back into the hole for him. Leaves his partner a shortish putt for a birdie. It's a good pitch from O'Connor. Played well today. Calcavecchia. Third shot, huge divot. The ball slung high in the air, right at the target. And that'll go back down the slope. Well, that's ending up better than it might have done. Well, the Americans putted and missed, and then Rafferty had this putt to win the hole, and he gets it at last. He had, I think 3 putts of that sort of length, which he's missed them all, and well, that's 1 back, and it's 3 down and 3 to play.
The short 12th, Ballesteros playing the bunker shot. Olazabal pushed the iron. And that's a good shot. Long bunker shot, never easy shot to play.
O'Connor, second to the 16th. Pretty good, at 10 feet away. But the United States only require a half, so really if they can finish with 3 4s, it puts tremendous strain on the Europeans. Try and finish better than that. Calcavecchia's pitch is short.
To bring the match back to 2. He doesn't miss many of these. So Europe is now only 2 up.
Ken Green putting down the 16th, and that looks to be beautifully judged. He could hole it. Lovely putt from Green. Not leaving his partner any tidying up to do. And so it's down to the Irish pair, or rather Rafferty, to hold the putt. With the team members looking on, giving their comrades great support. Well struck, but it's left, and so that's that. A half in 4, a win for the United States by 3 and 2. It might have been tighter than that, even though they looked to be totally in control. Rafferty had 2 or 3 chances with shortish putts, and sadly for the Europeans he couldn't pop them in.
Olazabal, the 13th. Oh, what a pity. A shot drop. That's 2 holes they've dropped shots. Seve doesn't look too pleased with his man, but it wasn't exactly Olazabal's fault. Seve knocked it in the bunker with a tee shot, and that caused him to drop the shot. So Curtis Strange has this for a par 4. As I say, he doesn't miss too many at that length. So they're only 1 down in the United States. The only match left on the course now. Looking back from the green at the 17th, this very long dog-legging par 5 hole. Americans have played 3, the Europeans 2, but the Europeans in the bushes. But I'm afraid the club might catch up a bit in the backswing when he does the actual shot. Now he's going out to in, he's going to try and slice it. Not going to make it. No, he was never going to make it, so he's in the sand. So we're really hoping for a victory here as we go down to the front of the green. It's Curtis Strange, the 4th shot. Up the ridge.
Turn, slow down, turn.
And that's a good part, but it's It's rolled a good 4 to 5 feet past. 4 feet, I would think. So that's 4. Very important shot this for Olazabal. Just a touch heavier, I think, than he wanted. It's quite a good shot, but by his standards, that's what he should have done. Just hesitated as he struck into the sand. So Sevi's got a putt this time of about 7 feet. As for a par, and a crucial par. Right in the center. What a good 5 that is. There they shake hands. Got a wigging again from his partner. Don't leave me these shots. Well, it looks like a good 4 feet from here, doesn't it? Maybe 4.5 feet. If he misses this, they lose the match by 2 and 1. Never in doubt. Straight in the center. What a good player he is, Tom Kite. So Europe go down the last hole. 1 up, 1 to play.
Steris to play first. And you can see he's got a long iron out. 474 yards. This final hole. And maybe in the bunker. Now it's up to Tom to get a good clean hit. Chase it up the green. As he let that one go to the right, just came off it a touch, and he's joined the Spanish pair in the sand. So they're following each other over these final holes. Not the hardest of bunker shots from that side if they've got reasonable lies. Got through that one better, and that's very good. About the same length, maybe a touch more than the one he played at the last hole, but his partner's certainly going to have a 7 or 8 foot putt for a 4. Now Curtis Strange, US Open champion. Oh, lovely shot. It's a yard past. Well, that was a good shot. Oh, it's a little cross. Hello, cameras. This is just a little cross, but it didn't detract. It didn't distract him from the job in hand. He played a beautiful shot. Now, Seve, this putt for the match. He potted one on the last. May have been a bit shorter than this. Difficult to say from this angle. But be ready for a cheer if it goes in, because that'll mean that the honours are even on this morning's foursomes play. Oh yeah, all the way. Get in there, my son.
So the morning had ended all square, 2 wins apiece, and Europe had maintained their 2-point lead. The score was now Europe 7, United States 5.
Ray, after this morning, 7-5, the match score, how do you regard the American position?
Well, we're not in a very good position right now. We have to come back this afternoon and make up some ground. We need, at worst today, to be 3-1. We need to get our 2.5, 1.5, something like that. We have to get at least 1 point back. I think going in a couple points down, we can overcome it, but it just puts too much burden on the singles matches.
Clean sweep for Europe in the 4 balls yesterday. What sort of tactics and what sort of discussions have you had to try and prevent the same thing happening?
Well, we talked about, I think we getting too involved helping each other when we play partnership. I think all of these players are world-class players. They got here on their own individual traits. They don't need a third party when they're out playing. In fact, I think it interrupts their rhythm. So in a team discussion last evening, we worked that out, and we decided that today we're going to go and let each other alone and go play golf the way we know how. And right now, in the first 2 matches, we've had 3 birdies in 3 tries, so maybe that's working.
Seems to be working. You describe yourself as being shell-shocked after yesterday afternoon. Is all that worn off now?
Well, yeah, certainly. You know, that's over. That's behind us. We can't do anything about that. We all came out very positive today. We've put I put Azinger and Beck together. I thought they'd be a good team. I didn't want to start them the first day because they had no experience, but they've proven that they're both. They were 6 under par this morning, and I would expect them to have a very low score today in the afternoon. So we're thrilled with that, and that kind of thing I think lifts the team somewhat.
Now on to the afternoon 4 balls, and these were the pairings. The point of interest in the European side is that Jose Maria Canizares, who at 42 is the oldest player on either side, has come in for the first time and is playing with Bernard Langer. It's worth noting that both Faldo and Woosnam and Ballesteros and Olazabal are still unbeaten in their pairings after 3 matches.
2 apiece this morning. What was your verdict on that?
Oh, I was so grateful for that last point. It was so important to us, that last point, and it's such a difficult, one chance you get in foursomes as opposed to 4 ball this afternoon. You've got 2 chances all the time, and things can change so quickly. I mean, they were 3 up, and then just a couple of holes went by, boom, boom, and you're only 1, and it seems nothing, you know. They held on marvellously well. I was over the moon with them, I really was, but it was a vital point. I would have hated to come out of two days of foursomes down, and to hold them to a half this morning, 2 each, was good.
The leading match, Faldo and Woosnam against Beck and Azinger, turned out to be astonishing. The scoring was probably the best ever seen in any Ryder Cup match. Birdies were just commonplace. Well, I don't have to tell you. You can see it for yourself now. Let's join it on the first, and here's Woosnam chipping from just beside the green.
For his shots, and bang me, and we open with a 3. He held a bunker shot yesterday after playing the 13th sloppily. He really is an amazing little golfer. Don't need you, partner. Thank you very much. Now, Azinger and Beck were actually the very best of the Americans this morning. They were something like 7 under 4, 6 under par, wanted 3 fours, 2 fours for a 65, which is great golf. Remember, foursomes, just the 1 ball. It's a good putt. It's a very good putt. And the opening hole is halved in birdie 3s. So the match is all square.
Apart from that fantastic or incredible 3 that Woosnam made at the opening hole, their scores have just been normal par figures, which in 4 ball is simply not good enough. The Americans, 4 birdies in a trot. It's time Woosnam started. And started he had. Very nice chip back, acknowledged. Good putt, he said, as he went past, and that's the response to the 4 birdies. Woosnam's had 2.
6th hole in Woosnam's second shot. His hole, a par 4 of 396 yards. Water right and left off the tee. Ooh, and that's tiptoed over the bunker, and that's going to be a great result. Very tasty. Got the birdie at the last, broke the sort of logjam of good play.
They're all going now for birdies on this hole. Short backswing, pushes it through, and it's in. And this really has been an amazing match for birdies, and coming at every hole. Woosnam for a 3. A mere bagatelle. Faldo. Oh. Well, in the sand.
But it went in for a 2. And then at the 8th, here's Azinger, the American, with an approach shot. And that set him up very nicely for yet another birdie. And at the 9th, Ian Woosnam, also an approach shot. And that set him up for a birdie. Faldo and Woosnam were out in 31 strokes, but Beck and Azinger were out in 30, and every hole on the front 9 had been birdied. Now on the 10th, Beck and Azinger are 1 up, Woosnam to drive.
May have pulled it. He's up there, the crowd. I don't think he's in the water. I think he clattered the big trees and just dropped down. Faldo not straying from his straight down the middle path, just pushing it down the hill, hoping for a pitch and a putt. That was a very short club. Just nudges it into the middle of the fairway, so his partner's not in the water, but left on the high ground with a tricky little pitch, but not lying too badly if he's got a swing. And Faldo down the middle. Now it's over to them to see what they do. It's away. That's very short. I think it hit the big tree. They're all scampering away in the trees to the right of the green. And at this moment, I think Mr. Beck must feel quite lonely. Well, he leathered that one, and they like it. Is it on line? It certainly is. He finds the green. The only one to do so. Only just on the front. He must have a putt of some 20-odd yards, maybe 25 yards. But he's on the green.
Chip Beck already on the green, though a long way away. He's found the green. And this is Woosnam's shot. He's, remember, missed the green to the left. And that means he's got to come over the big stretch of water. There's very little green to work with. And if he hits it too high, he's going to get tangled in the branches of the tree above him. Get in. So gently. There it is up on the left-hand bank there. He couldn't stop it on the putting surface. Now, just a short while ago, Azinger from way over by the back of the 16th green. And very much the easier shot than the one that Woosnam had, and played it nicely, leaving himself a 5 or 6 yarder uphill. But now it is the turn of Chip Beck. Say this is an eagle putt. It's a par 4. And oh, it's a good putt from that distance. It was nearly, I think, 30 yards. And that will be a 3. Whether it will be conceded or not remains to be seen. Nick Faldo, who chipped up from the front edge by that bunker above his head to here. Quite a crooked one, really, from that distance. This for a half. No speed. Just before. Ian Woosnam from the back. Oh, he's nailed another one. He chipped in at the first. He's chipped in again at the 10th. That's a 3. And he'll need that for half. I don't think they've conceded to the Americans, but really this top match is just something else. It's a streets ahead of all the other games in terms of, well, certainly the number of birdies. So still with one of the 2 Americans. Beck, remember, only a couple of feet short right of the hole. Azinger has this. Well, now it's for a half. Must have felt he was going to have it for a win. So that's not a 3. And
Now Beck has this little one. And for the last 10 minutes, he must have thought he was going to have a very good chance of winning this hole. But it's not a normal game of golf. Good putt, and these great raft of birdies continues. There's 13 birdies between them in the space of 10 holes, and the United States stay 1 up.
This really was an amazing match. Faldo and Beck both birdied the 11th, then the 12th and the 13th were halved in pars. We're going to rejoin it now on the par 3 14th. Beck and Azinger are still 1 up, and now Faldo has quite a long putt for a birdie.
They putted out of order. Woosnam's got a 3. Faldo has this for the 2, trying that tactic again, and it's successful. Not quite as they anticipated. That's another birdie. The 2 for Faldo at the 14th. Paul Azinger putting for a half at the 14th. Chip Beck has missed, so this is for the half. It turns and it's in there again, and the birdies suddenly start coming. There was a dull couple of holes, and the 14th halved into America stay 1 up. Second shot at the 15th, par 5 of 550 yards. So yes, up shows the different conditions. There is Azinger's ball is there in 2, so conditions you can see very different. If you were watching yesterday when they were struggling, well, they were hard pushed to get past that top bunker there in 2.
This is Faldo's third shot. His partner's off the green to the right in 2. Got to get a 4 somehow. A pitch and a putt from he or Woosnam if they're going to get a half here, and that looks very good. And he's made 3. Chip Beck at the 15th, third shot. United States 1 up on this par 5, and a very good pitch indeed. Faldo's ball on the left, Beck's on the right, and their partner's away on the left. Just on the upslope, a lot of green between the edge and the flag. He's played easier ones than that in this time. It just went down the hill. One good thing, he's probably coming back a little bit up the slope. A tremendous partnership between Azinger and Beck, out in 30, and they're 5 under the old scoring system of 4s on the way home. So terrific stuff. This to win the hole. Careful, down the hill it goes, and he's got the speed judged very well indeed. I fancy that may well be conceded. Faldo, this to halve the 15th in birdie 4s. Looks good. Oh, it just didn't come. By golly, we've seen a lot of those today. Putts that looked as if they were going to go. This really a desperate putt for him. If he misses it, they'll be 2 down with just 3 holes left to play. Oh, it looked good and it went that away. And so, well, after a well-hit second shot, 3 from the edge of the green, and Europe go 2 down and 3 to play. Chip Beck at the 17th, second shot, his side 2 up. Oh, look at this, coming up through the back of the green, runs through the back. Quite extraordinary, isn't it? They don't get out of the way. They watch the ball coming towards them like a snake and a mongoose. That would have gone well through the green, and I think it hit somebody's picnic hamper and just stopped on the edge. No. It's the same for both players. The spectators have got to be aware of these situations.
Stage day.
Oh, it's a terrific shot, but you see through the back. Faldo's through the back as well. That was a big iron shot there. There's Faldo's ball just a little bit further away up the bank.
Chip back, dare I say, chipping back. Through the green in 2. Right on the fringe of the green and the apron. And that is a masterpiece of the shot, really. Desperate shot at the 17th. Woosnam. In fact, not from Woosnam at all, from Fowler. So we've got to assume that Chip Beck can make 4. Certainly Azinger as well. They both have very good chances. So Woosnam has to make a 3. He's chipped in a couple of times today already. I don't think he can make it 3, can he? Well, it's not over yet, of course. One of the Americans has to hole out. Now Beck has this to cause Faldo and Woosnam to lose for the first time in this Ryder Cup match. They have their first game and won the 4-ball yesterday and the foursome this morning. And that's it. A victory by margin of 2-1. Chip Beck and Paul Azinger beat Nick Faldo and Ian Woosnam.
Paul Azinger, Chip Beck, well played. You unleashed quite a barrage on the Europeans there.
Well, I'll tell you what, it felt like they were unleashing one on us. We beat 2 thoroughbreds today, and we're really excited about it. I don't know if I've ever been this happy. Even winning a golf tournament, I'm telling you.
Their first defeat of the competition, and they're a fairly tough combination, aren't they?
They're a great combination, and one thing about them, they're great sportsmen, and I respect that in both of them. I tell you, they're tough competitors, and they know how to win as well as they know how to lose gracefully, and they were tough all the way to the end.
Now, overnight, Ray Floyd was saying maybe our players, the American players, shouldn't concentrate so much on giving each other advice, concentrate more on their own games. Is that something that you gave a priority to today?
I think so. I think we just have to act upon our strengths. I mean, Paul's a great player, in my opinion, and you can just turn Paul loose, and man, any man that starts out birdie, birdie, birdie's tough to beat. And that's what he did.
He was also looking for maybe 3-1 this afternoon to really put you back in amongst it, and you look as if you might get it.
Well, I'll tell you what, after yesterday, the shellacking we took yesterday, we were thinking going out, hey, clean sweep if we can, but let's at least get a split. I mean, historically, the last few years, we've had a lot of trouble, I think, in the best ball. And, of course, this is my first time, but that's what we talked about. And we talked about the fact that we might have lost the battle yesterday, but we hadn't lost the war. And we're gonna, we may win a battle today, we may not, but if we do win a battle, we still haven't won the war. We got our work cut out for us.
And there was some good golf being played elsewhere. The second match, Langer and Canizares against Kite and Macumber, for instance. Here's Macumber on the 10th tee.
Great job. Great job. Great job.
Well, that was one of the best we've seen on that hole in these 2 days. And then the third match, Clark and James against the Americans, Stewart and Strange. Let's have a look at Stewart's second shot to the 4th. They really were peppering the flags all day. And the final match, Ballesteros and Olazabal against Calcavecchia and Green. Well, you always expect something from Seve. Here's his second to the 9th. typical stuff from him. Now then, as this astonishing day neared the end, let's just check on how everything stood. First of all, we know that Beck and Azinger had beaten Faldo and Woosnam 2-1. In the second match, Kite and Macumber were 2 up on Langer and Canizares. In the third match, Payne Stewart and Curtis Strange just 1 up on Clark and James with 4 to play. And in the final match, Ballesteros and Alasba looked as though they were about to close out Calcavecchia and Green. They were 4 up with 4 to play. We're going to join that third match, Clark and James, Stewart and Strange. Here's Mark James on the 15th, playing his third shot from a bunker.
Did the first one. Oh my goodness. He certainly knows how to show his feelings, and why not? My goodness, I thought he potted that one. He killed it right on the shoulder. And they give it everything, these fellas, when they're playing for their nation, particularly in the Ryder Cup. Oh my goodness, you can see it in the eyes. What a smashing match this has been. 2 up was the biggest margin. It's been back to all square 3 times since then, and at this moment the Americans 1 up, and they must get one of these putts to keep it that way. What a lovely putt that was from Strange. What a great putt, yes. They're delighted about that. They don't want to go into tomorrow trailing.
17th, and Macumber and Tom Kite in partnership have well, they've fitted together very well indeed. Macumber's been the strong man on the side, and here he is after 2 super shots at the 17th with 2 putts for the match. Nicely sort of rolled to the whole side, and it's conceded, and the US win 2-1. Hit the ball pretty well, Canizares and Langer, but the putts wouldn't go. So 2 matches are completed, and the United States have won them both by the margin of 2-1. Oh no, excuse me. I'm walking here.
Now at the 15th, Ballesteros. It's been a hard day's work. He has this, though, to win the match. Oh, goodness, that. All he had to do was knock it in from 3 feet for a victory of 4 and 3. Now I think they may well have to go down at least another 1 hole. His wee partner won't be too pleased at him. He's trying to explain it away, but you can't explain that sort of a miss.
Here's the man that might do the job for the United States. Curtis Strange with a putt for a 3, his side 1 up. Stays left. It's amazing. We haven't seen. I don't think I've seen 1 ball finish on the right-hand side from that side, that position. But it was a well. It was a nice effort. It was a 4. So either Clark or James have a chance. This to square the match. Then, with 2 holes left to play. Good hit. Oh, wow, that was terrific. All square, 2 to go. He's played, there it comes round the corner, cut it up and round, and chases up, and that's very well played. Played a big cut through the trees. Now his partner Mark James next to go. He's just off the fairway. That's on line. If that's straight, it could well chase up onto the green and get very close to it. And it does. Just the fringe there slowed it down, took 2 or 3 yards off it. Well, I reckon if Payne Stewart really clatters one, he could, and gets a hard bounce, he could run this through the green. He's a pretty good hitter. looks to have cut
All
it.
right!
So, well, that was a wild one. A nervy one, maybe? Oh. Well, now, I hesitate to say a nervy blow, but I have to say a nervy blow.
Now, Lazabal with the shorter of the drives. Those on the fairway, I mean. Straight at the camera and hopefully at the flag. What a beauty. He's a good boy, this one. He can play a bit. Now Seve, who still smarting at missing a two-footer at the last hole, which would have saved all this aggravation. That's a great shot.
Howard Clark, third shot. Oh, nearly in the hole. What a shot. What a shot.
I'm going to go to the right a little bit, though. You're right. I'm going to go to the right of the hole.
It's going to the right of the hole. I bet he thinks it's a damn silly place to put a tree. Well, he made good contact. I could only just lob it, and he was in a dreadful place. Perhaps the ball just flicked one of the branches ahead of him as it went through, and saw it end up in the bunker.
Stand still, please.
Threw it up high.
Stand still, please.
Now at the back of the 16th, Calvecchia coming down the slope, and we didn't have to give that a rattle. I have a feeling we might have a concession here. Yes, we have. So they've given the victory putt to the Spanish pair, a wonderful victory, a great result. 4-2. Ian Wright, the caddy, very happy.
Well, that was a terrific putt from Mark James. What a struggle, keeping the excitement going right to the end. Very bravely done indeed. And so Europe now one up with one to play. Fred Couples there on the left of the American team. The face is looking rather stern. So if he doesn't get this absolutely 100%, I think we might see a low skimmer into the water. Very precise shot this has to be. We picked that off as clean as a whistle. That could be an absolute ace. Would you believe it? Now, Payne, you've got to make a better effort than you did at the last hole with your second shot. Looked to have a good rhythm, but he, I don't know, I don't think he's... No, see, usually when you shove him out to the right, it shows you're a little edgy, a little nerve. The body comes through, the club head lags behind, the face is a bit open. There it is. 474 yards. Could be a 4-iron, 3-iron. Urging it on. And it's there, lovely shot. And it may just go, how unlucky. That was a majestic stroke from Curtis Strange, another foot. And that would have had the European supporters gagging a bit. Well, under normal circumstances, if you were just playing a Saturday afternoon, if Howard was out with the lads of the village, this would present no problem at all. That looked to be a sweet swing. Is it up? It is. Rafferty. All very emotional. I mean, our Open Championship, the classic event in the world of golf that's been going on for well over 100 years or more, it is a terrific event when you walk up onto the 18th green, but nothing quite like this. Seve and Carmen, they're all keeping quiet, thinking about things. Seve knows these have been holed. He's holed a few in his time. Bernard Langer at the back there. Payne Stewart, third shot. Not bad, is it? Ooh, what a good effort. There's one gone. And no three. Europeans one up. Fingers crossed, depending on whose side you're supporting. No. Well, it was asking an awful lot now. Will we see some putting, or will that be a concession? The European team both have 2 putts for victory. Not all that far well. I think they're certainly going to see some putting. Either of them can get down to 2. It'll be a very hard-fought victory. There's a great young lad. In the arms of his hero. Well, I hope he's meant 2 putts. And that's right to the whole side. And thank you very much for the game. And that's a tremendous fill-up for the Europeans to, well, I hesitate to say steal the match, but brought about, well, they brought it amongst themselves. And stout play, very stout play from Clark and James, and at the crucial moment, 2 dreadful second shots from the Americans. Lord Derby rushing on to say his hurrahs. And so 12 singles to go tomorrow.
Mark James and Howard Clark, the heroes of the hour. We didn't really expect scenes like this till tomorrow night, but terrific stuff.
Yeah, I never want to be that nervous again. It was too frightening for me.
What sort of dramas have you gone through in the last 45 minutes or so, particularly there at 17?
Yeah, 17 was quite nerve-wracking. The opposition hit 2 very poor second shots and really, led us in. And Mark hit a fantastic second shot from a good drive. And well, we managed to just give ourselves 2 chances at each one, and that was the big thing. But for him to roll that putt in on 17 was a great save for me, thanks.
And then coming up 18, second shot at 18. How tough was the lie you had there?
It wasn't easy, but it probably looked worse on telly. It wasn't lying too bad, just a bit of scrubby stuff. It wasn't that bad.
Before that, we'd seen you, Howard, really let one go off the tee at 18. Were you really pumped up there?
I had so much adrenaline. I mean, I don't know where it came from, but it just came through, Mark's play, my play, whatever it was. I think it cleared the water by about 6 inches, didn't it?
That's right.
But that was a good yardage from Fanny, so I'm very pleased with that.
Crowd in the last half hour have reached a fever pitch of excitement, but still very well behaved. What was it like to play in front of an atmosphere like that?
No, they've been fantastic all week. I mean, and they've been pretty fair as you can expect too. They've been really great, and it's been such a fillip for us to be cheered onto every green and up the fairways, and it makes a big difference. The 2-point lead is probably down to the people watching. It's a big help.
Well, that heroic effort by Clark and James meant that the afternoon 4 balls had been halved, 2 wins apiece again. Ballesteros and Olazuba were now the only unbeaten pair. They had 3.5 points from their 4 matches. Curtis Strange, the US Open champion, well, he was having a very rough Ryder Cup. He hadn't won a match, just half a point from his 4 games. The situation now was that Europe needed 5 wins from the singles if they were to retain the Cup, while the United States needed 7 wins and a half if they were going to regain it. The 2 captains now had to put their lists in for the final day's singles. Now, this is a very interesting psychological battle. They don't know what the other man's going to do. Is he going to put so-and-so at the top or so-and-so at the bottom? Where do I put my best man? Where do I put my weakest man? Very interesting little battle, and this is how the pairings worked out. Tony Jacklin had chosen Seve Ballesteros to lead the way in the hope of getting a quick point, and Raymond Floyd had put Paul Azinger at the top. Mark Calcavecchia, the American, was hidden away at number 4, I think in the hope of getting a crafty point. Anyway, he had to face Ronan Rafferty. And then, if it got tight at the end, these were the men the two captains were relying on. Third from the end, Sam Torrance for Europe against the 5-times Open champion, Tom Watson. Second from the end, Nick Faldo would have to play the very competitive Lanny Wadkins. And then right at the end, the anchorman, Ian Woosnam for Europe, and he would play Curtis Strange, the man who had got a mere half point from his previous 4 games. Just how do the captains decide the order in which they put their men? Let's ask Tony Jacklin.
Your thinking behind the draw, what was the main principle for you there?
Well, we wanted some power up front. I mean, and yet we didn't want to put all the power there. We had to leave something in back, you know, for emergencies. And that's how we did it. We put the Seve obviously usually is anchorman at the end, and Woozy had been going out first every day during the 4-ball foursomes, and he felt it kind of like a change from that, and he's been playing so well. I thought we'd put him at the end, and well, that's how I tried to do it. You know, power up early, but also something at the back.
A bit of experience
at
the back.
back.
Seve will finish early and he'll be out on the course.
Well, that was another
behind
reason.
The other players.
That was another reason for putting Seve out early, of course, because he's such a great inspiration to the others as well. And it's been very much a team effort this week in all respects, and they've been great up to now. I just hope they can capitalise on all their hard work that they've put in.
Your thinking in deciding your singles order pretty much the same as Tony's, it seems.
Yes, it was exactly. I think he started with some strong players and then put strong players at the end if the matches came down to it. I'm sure, I know that's the way I felt. I felt like I wanted to get out some good players early, guys that were playing. Not that they're better than others, but the way players are playing now. And then have my experienced players, those with Ryder Cup experience. I wanted them at the end if it came down to their shoulders. And looking at Tony's pairings, he did the same thing. And I think I expected him to do that, and I think he expected me to do that.
What's the day going to be like for you out on the course? What sort of role do you adopt, and how do you move around?
Well, it'll probably be very nerve-wracking. I've never encountered this. I was quite a bit nervous the first day. Yesterday I was quite calm about the whole thing. But now the finals are here, and the winning and the losing will happen today. Right now, I don't know how I will accept it. I hope that I'm involved enough that I won't think about it too much.
Well, let's start with the leading match, Seve Ballesteros against Paul Azinger. Seve was 2 up after 4 holes, but then Azinger won 4 of the next 5 to be 2 up himself at the turn. Seve then got these back at the 10th and the 11th, and now the fight was really on over the closing holes. Meanwhile, the Americans had already won 2 matches to level the overall score. Tom Kite had hammered Howard Clark with birdies to win 8 and 7, and Chip Beck had beaten an out-of-form Bernhard Langer 3 and 1. Now, on the 18th tee, the Ballesteros match, Azinger is 1 up and driving.
Oohs from the crowd, no applause. And he's hit that in the water. It's in there, and what an error. What an error. There was no applause, they worried about it. So, the reputation of Ballesteros, I feel, there played a part in that error. He's in the light rough, nice and safe.
He's played 2 now, having taken the drop. I'm not sure. He may be nearer to the flag now. No, surely not. Now he's going to go. It's his 3rd shot. It is quite an unbelievable shot he's taking on. He's got something like 230 yards. You can see it. He's going left of that big Scotch pine tree. He's got that expanse of water, a bit of land, another expanse of water, and 70 yards of putting green to face.
Yes. Yes. Nice. Yes.
Well, you'd expect the oohs and ahs. I do believe he's carried the water, and I think he's in the bunker on the right, and that is quite a brilliant shot. He's made it to there in 3 shots, so that is something else.
So Subby, a long drive there which ran through the fairway. The ball above him, a fairly decent lie, and still 220 yards to go to the pin. It doesn't look very far, but it's a bit of a shortening over that water, but still a good whack with the 3-iron.
He's topped that, I think. He's hit it on the head. No, he just got into that a little harder than I saw him lose rhythm there, I think, for the first time in all the years I've watched him. The right side was up and forward. The eyes were almost at the green. So much pressure on him to get it all the way there. And now, I think, well, he's going to drop it out for a penalty shot. He's going to hit 4 onto the green, and Azinger's work has been made an awful lot easier. There you see it from the other side. This is Ballesteros' 4th shot then, the 18th. And he's 1 down. Spin onto the ridge, get onto the ridge. Oh, another foot, and he'd have gone all the way down to the hole. Well, the caddy's bearing the brunt of that. The left-hand bunker is the one that Azinger went into. It was the shortest route. But when you think that what that ball had to fly over, unbelievable shot to get to there. So Azinger's 4th shot. He needs to get down in 2. Oh, and that's a beauty. They won't be given yet, but it's a beautiful shot. Now, this means that if Ballesteros misses, I'm sure the match will be conceded. So Seve, who could have sealed it with a conventional 4 for him. I tell you, there's a lot of pressure on this one. And he's done it. He was man enough to hold it. He beats Ballesteros by 1 hole. Yes, and he is absolutely delighted. It'll all come out in a minute. He is the first match out on the course, of course, so there are none of his fellow players out there, but I'm sure the captain won't be far away.
So this to square the match. 17th green. He's done it. He's done it. He's all square. He's been down virtually the whole afternoon. Mark James at the 16th. This for the match. This for 3, and a bit tentative.
Olazabal prepares to drive, the 18th. 1 more good drive. Stop there. That's just the piece of rough that Ballesteros went on into, although he was perhaps a little bit closer to the green.
Mark James for the match. He's done it. First point to Europe. Mark James beats Mark O'Meara by 3 and 2. And he hasn't played Ryder Cup golf since 1981. And of Very, very good series of games for Mark Jones.
Now Payne Stewart, and it really is an awesome tee shot, isn't it? Well, he's taken the wide line. He's got to carry 250 yards minimum. I think he's in the water or in the reeds. Well, they're all square. You have to wonder at making a decision like that. Kyle Kvekja at the 17th. This for a win? No. No. I wonder if he'll concede Rafferty's. He's walking away as though he has.
Now, this is Payne Stewart. Different looking Payne Stewart. He's put his waterproofs on. His feet, whatever, will be feeling very nasty, but that's where he hit his tee shot. He's going to try and hit it out from there. Where is it? It's still in there, I suspect, yes. It looked a bit deep to me. There's immaculate stockings.
Well, we'll give one more go, huh? We're going to try this again.
That's 3. Shot 4 for Payne Stewart. He's got it out. He's said best he can do is a 6, and if only we can hunt the Americans to the home hole. They are vulnerable. And back on the 17th green, Rafferty got his half, so he too comes to the last hole all square. Now then, all he has to do is clear the water. Lazabal, that is. Good clean strike. That's over all right. And in the middle of the green. That's it. There's no way now that Payne Stewart can do anything about this, unless perhaps he holds his 5th shot, but then Lazabal would still have 2 putts for the match. He's had a wonderful series of matches. He's won 3.5 points coming into today's singles, and just listen to the reception. But he'll pause in his victory march. The last rights. A very damp last rights, and in fact that's the ball from the tee of Rafferty's drive, and the cheers. That is, I feel, rather rubbing salt in the wound. I think the referee would halt this if it was a fight now. Save Payne Stewart from further damage.
Back on the tee, Kyle Kvekja, having waited all of this time. It won't have done him any good, the gap. And there is another American disaster. My goodness. Well,
Payne Stewart, Mrs. Stewart, there gave her husband a pat. Is that enough? A great match. Barely over a hole, more than a hole in it. And Lazabal not aware that he's conceded. Now he is.
Even out on the far reaches of the course, giant scoreboards kept the public informed, and every change in favour of Europe brought a mighty roar.
4.5 points for Lazabal. The win by 1 hole. A great Ryder Cup series for him. And of greater importance, a 2nd point on the board for Europe.
You can see Calcavecchia has elected to come a considerable way back. He's taken the green out of reach, out of range, and he can only at best play a shot down, just short of the water. Now he's got out here a 3-wood, so he's not playing short at all. Can't possibly be playing short with the wooden club. He's going to give it a right go, and there it is. He's launched it. Let's look for another splash. There it is. There's the ripples. It's not the Belfry Monster, that's the ball. There at the 18th we have the concession. Calcavecchia has decided to give up, so Ronan Rafferty gains his first Ryder Cup point. And what a nice time to do it. There, the wave to the gallery is waiting.
Christy O'Connor in match 7, 1 down to Fred Couples, his second shot at 16. These are the matches that Harry said had... Oh, a terrific shot. Now Fred Couples. Not bad, but advantage O'Connor.
Mark James, our first winner of the afternoon, and the European mood must be changing by the minute.
It's changed a lot in the last half hour. We've got 3 wins on the board now. Rafferty and Olazabal won great matches, and well, we're in with a chance now, and it's anybody's.
You're in with a great chance, and you won a great match as well. What do you think was the advantage you had over Mark O'Meara?
I played very, very well. I hit every shot at the pin and out the middle of the club early on, and hold a couple of putts, went a couple up, and just kept playing well and put the pressure on him, and he eventually made a mistake, and by then he'd run out of holes.
Another winner walking up 18, which is Ronan Rafferty, and you can hear the atmosphere and the applause around here. Terrific atmosphere.
Yeah, it's brilliant. That's a great win of Ronan's and Jose Maria Olazabal. That's given us the edge that we might just have at the end of the day. That's perfect.
This to square his match. It's a very tricky green. Nope. Oh, it is! It's slipped in the right goal. Oh, and it's all square. O'Connor squares. We've won 3, we're up in another one. And 2 more all square.
Nice to hear from the man who produced Europe's 3rd victory. You've had some great experiences on golf courses, Dunhill Cup and so on. How does this one rate?
It's unbelievable because knocked in quite a short putt in 17, and I was all square, and I knew everybody was thinking, I knew for Tony I had to win, and I just didn't want to make a complete hack up of it, and I just tried to. I said to my caddy, this is what all the practice is about, moments like this on the 18th tee. I had a really nice tee shot, and Mark hit the first bad shot of the day.
You beat one of the most motivated members of the American side. It must have been hard for him on 18. What did he actually say to you when he conceded there?
Trying to remember. He said, pick it up. No, he came over and he shook my hand and he said, thanks for the last couple of days and enjoy your moment. And I said to him, Mark, you're a gentleman. And he said, thanks very much, and walked away. And I mean, what can you do?
17th, Canizares' second shot. Match all square. That looked a very strange follow through, but did he manage to get the club head back to the ball? And he's on the green. Ken Green's just on the front sort of edge of the green. Canizares with a rather edgy, ugly swing, but he kept the ball going straight. Seve pacing about.
Christy O'Connor driving at 18. Oh, fine shot. And you don't need reminding what a desperately difficult tee shot this is, nor what the Americans, all the Americans who played it before, have done. The Couples is a very long hitter. 18th tee. Oh, that's a magnificent drive. Absolutely superb. Shades of Sam Torrance 4 years ago. That's a huge, colossal drive. Only be a 7-8 iron for his second.
Ken Green, third shot at the 17th, putting across the green, and he's left it. Oh, missable. From a long way, but still not stone dead. And Canizares. Canizares. Green's about a yard away, maybe a touch more. He's left it 6-7 feet short. And suddenly, well, the nerve ends are more than frayed and raw. They're almost non-existent, I think. Crucial matches. The Canizares and O'Connor match. And this is a must. A real must. Oh, what a good putt.
Christy O'Connor, second to the 18th. And he beat it. Now, Freddie Couples, follow that. Oh, he hates it. He hates it. Oh, he's hit it up there. Gosh. Well, for centuries almost it seems, this was the British disease in these matches. And now, well, role reversal, but what a game. This Ryder Cup, time after time now, producing the most dramatic sporting pictures and sporting occasion. Two chances of winning this now for Connor. A very makeable putt for him. And that is if Fred Couples gets down in two, which is far from likely.
Behind them on the tee, Canizares. He's a left-to-right player as a rule. Has he been sensible and safe? I think so. The Chill Hill villagers cry, "We're all right." There he is. Watch all square. Get your blow in first. Now Ken Green. Aiming it fairly well left. No, that looked to be good. Unless he goes too straight, he's heading towards the bunker. Just on the edge of the fairway.
Up ahead, Fred Couples, third. Oh. Yes. That is not a bad shot. He's coming down quite a sharp slope. Well, he has to hold this, and even if he does, O'Connor will have a putt for the match. And he can hardly stand still. He would be delighted if this didn't go in. And the Irish will come through. See the tears. I think Jacqueline's in tears. Not certain I'm not. And after all that, it's a fourth point for Europe.
Green second to the 18th. Against Canizares. But to make a very good contact. And that's going back down the hill. Now whether he can do better than a 4. The match all square. Woosnam 1 up in the last match, match 11. Faldo and Watkins, well, Faldo 1 down. So now, if you're a European supporter, now is the time to wish your man from Duquesa a nice smooth swing to the heart of the green, Canizares. And it's very close to the bunker, but it gets a friendly bounce in, a little strong. There's a bit of putting to be done.
Canizares. Third shot. He's all square. Step to go down. Excellent putt from there. I know he's got 3 feet left, but it was a very good putt. One of those, Calcavecchia, who popped his ball in the water. Now there's Ken Green. He's got to come up one of the steps in this green. Great putt, a good putt, but it's 6 feet by. 6 feet by, and downhill left to right, coming back. And they know. Who is it? Calcavecchia. Who said they didn't care about the Ryder Cup. He said it. The Ryder Cup this year meant more to him even than winning the Open. The Americans have now played this hole 12 times in this series of matches, this last hole, and they haven't won it yet. Another one's gone by. Another one's gone. So he too can only stand and watch. Their world has fallen apart in the last hour. And this is a putt that would retain the cup for Europe. The Ryder Cup stays in Europe.
Well, this is absolutely fantastic. The oldest man on either side is the man that holds the putt that retains the Ryder Cup. And it must be sheer, well, desolation for the Americans, because they came with the team that were the biggest hitters, the strongest players. They came with a great amount of pride, and their hopes must have been very high when Seri had his disaster at the 18th. But my word, how well the Americans played today, and how graciously they played, and how supremely well the middle order batting for Europe have performed. Absolutely fantastic. Sam Torrance has lost. The man who held the winning putt last year is beaten, but he's just got, I'm sure, the word that they, the Europeans, have retained the cup. The oldest player, 42 years of age, walked round unaided and hold the winning putt.
I just, 1 hour ago, I thought everything was going down away from us, and Jose Maria Olazabel's match turned round, and then Christie's 2 shots onto the last green. Terrific. I came up there with him, I just said, one more good swing for Ireland, Christie. Oh boy, what a dream of a finish for him. Sensational. I'm speechless. We would like to get another point.
I know you want to win the singles.
We want to win it. We want to win it. We've got a tie. We've kept the cup, but we want to win it.
But an important point has been proven, that is the strength in depth of this side, because it's really the wins coming from unexpected quarters, isn't it?
Well, I think the thing is, you know, I've said it many times before, I know we're all human beings, and when it comes to the last few holes, there's so much pressure, and they've cracked just like we crack. Everybody cracks. We're all human. That's why I said to Christie, if you hit it on the green in 2, Christie, something will happen. And, well, it did, sadly, for them, but for us, it was wonderful.
Enjoy the afternoon.
Thank you. Oh, now I can really enjoy it.
Well, euphoria everywhere in the European camp, but as Tony said, we still needed just 1/2 from the remaining 3 matches to win the match outright. Well, Gordon Brand Jr. couldn't do it against Mark McCumber.
Brand to halve his match. No. It may not matter, but it matters to Gordon Brand. And he goes over, shakes McCumber's hand. Mark McCumber wins by 1 hole. And in fact, in some 13 attempts, that's the first time the Americans have actually won the last hole in this series of matches. Curtis Strange at the 16th to square his match with Woosnam. And he's done it. So that outright win in the singles, a little further away. In the bottom match, all square, 2 to play. Still, Faldo has not had a birdie today. Good time to get one now for him. Yeah, if he talks to him, that goes in, you know. Match all square.
Christie O'Connor is with us alongside the 18th. You've been through a few emotions in the last half hour, haven't you?
Yeah, unbelievable. I mean, this is just the greatest day of my life. And for the rest of the boys, I just hope we make it happen. We have retained it now, which is, I felt quite a lot of weight on my shoulders. I don't think I should have had that, but I have. The boys have been fantastic to me. Tony, Severiano Ballesteros has been just a world of strength to me. He is incredible man. All week he's been giving me, you know, telling me what to do. And my uncle, who's here all week with me, and he was great today before I started. We had a long chat. He followed me around, and it's just tremendous.
Crowning a great career, though, a great shot, 2nd to 18. Is that about the best you've ever played?
Yeah, under pressure. Tony asked me coming down at 18, he said, if you put him under pressure, I promise you, you'll win the hole and the match. He said, just put a good swing, and that's all I thought about. I had a big 2 iron, and I just said, make a good turn, that's all. Hit it.
There is Faldo at the 18th. Just had his first birdie of the day. Match is all square. He may be too greedy. And mispitched in the bank. Could be in the mud on the very edge of the water. I'm not sure, but that was... Well, we saw 3 of the finest American players put it in the water. Watkins. That's a good drive from him. There it is. And over the course comes the magnificent sight of Concord. Well, it dipped its wings. I wonder if old Captain Cook's in charge. Wouldn't be surprised. He's a golf nut like us all. Handsome sight, isn't it? Danny Watkins at the 18th, second shot. And on the bottom step, but safely on in 2. was that? I'd like that then.
With a 3, poor drive here, and that's a certain 4, that will be conceded. Woosnam for a half. It's left. It's left. So he too now goes down the 18th, 1 down.
6 matches. This will be the 7th match to finish on the 18th out of 12. And, well, there'll be 8 matches out of 12 will come to the 18th. No, that's that. Really, it was the drive that cost it. And so Danny Wilkins beats Faldo by 1 hole. Faldo not firing on all cylinders, only 1 birdie. So just the 1 game left out on the course. Pretty strange with this one.
Great shot. Hold the positions, come on.
And that's more like it. If he played a shot like that at the 17th hole last night, things might have been very different. And I would suggest that this means that the matches will be tied. The United States will have won the singles, with 8 of the matches coming to the final hole. Tom Watson, one of Floyd's choices, contributing much to the match. Mark O'Meara, well, he struggled a bit. Here's Woosnam. It only looked like an 8-iron, something very short. Just level with the flag, just pulled it a bit, looked to be lying perhaps a little heavy. That was an enormous drive, wasn't it? USA 1 up, that's in Woosnam's ball. The Europeans just off the green. 2, not all that far from the hole. Now, will he putt it? Will he take a little 7-iron, a 9-iron? What would you do? Need that one. A little lofted one. Hood the face, close the face in. Howard Clark. Nearly got a dog's license today, 8 and 7. Not have a happy day, but Captain Jacklin certainly has, and his players. Great to be captain of a good team. Woosnam's 3rd then at the 18th. It's not there. I think this may be handshaking time. 2 putts for it from about 4 feet. I don't see why we shouldn't call that a day. You can expect, yeah, he's just had a count up. I think we had a miscalculation there. That's just very good things. And all the caddies and all the players, all the officials. There's John Sterling from Meon Valley, the captain of the Professional Golfers Association this year. Gordon Brand and all the team, the officials on both sides, the PGA Tour and the Professional Golfers Association, have put on a splendid show.
And now the final summing up of the 1989 Johnny Walker Ryder Cup. The 12 singles this afternoon to close the match. America got away to a good start. Paul Azinger winning by 1 hole. over Severiano Ballesteros, who quite astonishingly put his second shot into the water. Had he not done that, almost certainly it would have been a half, and that would have been quite significant. Chip Beck won the second match for the States, 3-1 over Bernhard Langer. Jose Maria Olazabal, a one-hole winner over Payne Stewart. Ronan Rafferty for Europe, a one-hole winner over Mark Calcavecchia. Tom Kite played really very well indeed, birdie after birdie, and he shattered Howard Clark 8 and 7. Mark and James, heroic winner out on the course, 3 and 2 over his fellow Mark O'Meara. Christy O'Connor Jr. amid jubilant scenes, won by one hole on the 18th against Fred Couples. And Jose Maria Canizares, 42 years old, the oldest man on either side, won, or rather retained the Ryder Cup with his win over Ken Green. Mark McCumber, a one-hole winner over Gordon Brand Jr. Tom Watson, a 3-1 winner over Sam Torrance. Lanny Watkins, a one-hole winner over Nick Faldo. And Curtis Strange, a two-holes winner over Ian Woosnam. It was really quite extraordinary that Europe in the end couldn't find the half a point that would have won the match outright. Tied at 14-14, the United States won the singles today by 7 matches to 5. Now, Steve Ryder has the American captain, Raymond Floyd, with him.
Ray Floyd, a tied match, which is being greeted a little bit like a European victory here around the 18th. But what's your feeling about the match as a whole now?
Well, early on, if you went early in the match, I would feel like we were defeated by tying. But then later on, it looked like we didn't have a chance at all. In fact, I heard the telecommentator on my little TV saying that it was all over, that Europe had won, and it wasn't. And that's why Curtis Strange played in the end. I can't say enough about his play, and he came back and turned it and won the match to get us a halve. And believe me, the pressure that was on our last 4 groups to come back with a halve, I'm tickled to death, because it didn't look like we had any chance at all. On the other hand, I thought we could win it. I thought we had the team to win it. And we had problems again with the 18th hole. We had 3 boys in a row hit it in the water, and you can't do that and beat world-class players. But overall, I'm very happy. My boys have shown tremendous character. My congratulations to the European side, because they showed the same kind of character. I think it's just the spirit of the competition, and as I said earlier in the week, hopefully the game of golf will be a winner when it's over, and it truly has been the winner here. The Ryder Cup matches were won by the game of golf, and that's what it's all about, and we're very pleased that it's happened.
And certainly the behaviour of the galleries and the behaviour of the players to each other has been at the highest level.
That's what golf is all about, and it's been remarkable, such a marvelous week. And tonight we can celebrate equally, and there won't be one team down and one up. And it's just a marvelous finish to a marvelous week.
The Ryder Cup is retained this side of the Atlantic. What's the determination like to get it back in 2 years' time, though?
Well, as you well know, I think this competition will be stronger and more keen than it's ever been before. I think the enthusiasm this week proves that, and I'm looking for very tight matches from now on.
A draw. Ray Floyd, congratulations to you and your players.
Thank you very much.
Well, these have been 3 great days of golf. The Ryder Cup remains in Europe, but the United States players came out of it with honour. And as Raymond Floyd had hoped right at the start, the game of golf was the true winner.
So near was it in Florida in 1983. Remember the emotional scenes 4 years ago? Looks a bit more dry-eyed on this occasion. Perhaps he's getting used to it.
Mr. Thatcher, Lord Derby, Mr. President of the USPGA, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I said 3 days ago it was staying here, and it is by the skin of its teeth. These matches have been, 83, I think 1 point in it in 83, 85, 2 points, 87, 2 points. This year, no points, a tie. I just couldn't have wished for more.